Starting the stream. Ooh, it's green over here and green over there. That's what I like to see. Looks like I have audio. And I have a drink of water. And welcome to Vlog Thursday. Ideas are cheap, ideas are easy. And actually, let me put that quote into context. Hey, why not? So is it ideas are cheap, ideas are easy? I love this quote. There we go. Right here's the full quote. For those of you that haven't heard this before, ideas are cheap, ideas are easy, ideas are common. Everybody has ideas. Ideas are highly overvalued. Execution is all that matters. I'm a big Casey Neistat fan. I think he's a really interesting creator. I followed him for a while. I kind of like his style. He's a storyteller. He's interesting the way he puts narratives together in a very creative and clever way. But this quote matters a lot to me, especially in its one of the reasons I like open source. I bring this up because this happens to me quite a bit. People contact me and start with an NDA. And first thing is I don't do NDAs. You have to have something super compelling, or maybe it's an NDA because of can you not talk about this? Cannot talk about this because it's a pre-release. Those are different types of NDAs. But I get NDAs of, I got the next killer idea NDAs. And those are always ones that end poorly because they're just stupid almost all the time. Execution is what matters with everything. And I have people who contact me that want to create ways to obscure their source code. They want to obscure this. I'm like, no, it's execution. If you haven't gotten it yet, there's a reason. You can develop an entire open source product, and yet still you get paid for your product because you get paid for your time to do it. Trying to lock up your secrets, that's very 1980s of you and maybe into the 90s. And yes, we know companies made money doing that, but there's a better way to do software development and things like that. And this is just in general with everything. I certainly didn't invent the IT business. It was there before I existed. I now do my thing in here, but to say that, oh no, your ideas mean everything. No, I give away all my ideas because that's not where any value is created. Value is always created under execution of it. That's why I don't understand people who are very evasive or secretive about stuff like that. It kind of drives me nuts. And then, like I said, it also relates to the fact that people who start out with, I need you to sign this NDA because you can't do this. One guy wanted me to sign an NDA because he thought his photo booths were so ahead of their time. And the only way I could work on them is if I was going to, sign an NDA with him and things like that. So, yeah. So that's not how that works. Before I rant, I'm going to rant real more, and then I'll start answering some questions. I see someone has some Unify questions here, and I'll cover that. But this also goes back to the other part, start with secure thinking. So someone had reached out to me, and I'm not at all. It was an interesting conversation back and forth. First, I was kind of mistaken because I thought they were trying to lock up some of their code. Then I just realized it was a bad implementation of how they wanted to do it. And that comes down to secure thinking, but also locking up your ideas. They wanted to make a monitoring device with a Raspberry Pi, and I did a video on encryption, and I talked about how to auto unlock the encryption, and I didn't do the follow-up video yet on auto unlocking. It's on my to-do list, but it's one of those things that when I realized one of the reasons they wanted to lock it is because all the devices would have all the credential information stored in them. I'm like, you need to go back to the drawing board. This is not how you design any type of device. One device should not have the credentials for anything more than that particular client that you're monitoring. So the way their idea was going to work was to have the credentials in there. And this is unfortunately it's not anything to make fun of this person. This is a common misconception that a lot of people have, is that they build these like this so they can access the cloud server, kind of like that phone back home, so they can do the monitoring and observation. But this is a horrible way to do it. And we see large companies like Netgear and some of these other companies have been caught doing things like this, where they have consumer devices, and we found out they use similar credentials for, everything. And therefore, all that data ended up once they compromise the device, they go, oh, wow, we can get to all the other customer data on here too. I think Ring was doing something similar since they got bought, because they were consolidating all the videos under a common bucket or something like that. And it was just like, really, guys? This is how you're handling all this? So it's just all kind of like a headache to deal with. And it's one of those things that's, I think before more people start developing more insecure IoT apps, you really need to almost take a security process class or something. Like, you got to think through this, think about all the weak points, think about what happens if someone compromises your device. And if that's even a consideration, you shouldn't have any credentials on device other than for that particular client. There are ways to do this. There is public key encryption systems, for example, SSH, which I've covered before, and I've covered this recently with, just how you putting SSH keys in to make easy management. I covered this in like Proxy Chains and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you put some SSH keys in there, makes it easy to log in and out. I can publicly have one side of the key available to authenticate, but then if you can have that key, it's public without compromising security and credentials. So that's just kind of my thoughts, and I figured I'd just rip right in and rant on that, because that's just it's a bother to me to deal with some of those type of things where you start with the NDA because you think the idea is where it's all at. Trust me, the execution is everything, and focus on that instead of trying to lock up your idea. Matter of fact, I laugh because Elon Musk is someone who's given away all of his ideas, given away all of his patents, but he's like, yeah, I mean, it's not the ideas, it's the execution and delivery of these better systems he's designed. He does patent them, but that's actually a protective measure because of patent trolls who he got patent trolled, and that's what started all that, and I'm not going to go rant on that too far. So let's see. Michael says, do you have a video in Unify controller backup? My controller on reboot will auto wipe itself for no reason. I don't know why. I've never seen that happen. But controller backup's actually really easy. Let's see here. We SSH into Unify. And then we'll make it bigger so you guys can see what I'm typing here. So where's my bigger? Bigger. There we go. Let's get some pixels going. We'll close Casey Neistat's thing here. So how do you back up Unify? It's actually, I don't know, arbitrarily simple. So first, have the backup running. Second, have an hourly backup script that goes and rsyncs the backup directory over here to here. That's it. It just copies it via rsync off of this computer and syncs it over to another one. I hope that helps. It's cat hourly backup. So this is the Unify backup directory. So oops. So here's all those, auto backups in the controller. Those are created under the controller settings. This is actually another demo account, not that exact controller I'm logged into. Auto backup, it's on. Choose your frequency. Maybe you want it once a day. Once a day is good. I'm not going to worry about data retention. Makes the file smaller. Save. Every day under this folder, varlib unify backup auto backup, a backup is created. And then from there, you can copy those files over to a server via some type of script, whatever you want to do. Just rsync I use rsync because it's convenient over SSH, so it's encrypted. And I say, take all those data and send them to another server. So simple as that. That would be how you back up Unify. I might do a video exactly on that. It's arbitrary. That way you have it off the controller and can easily restore it. Microsoft pays the bills. Do I have any customers solely on Linux and desktop in the network environment business? If so, which distro? No, I have no all Linux clients. I do have Chrome clients. I have a few of them that use mostly Chrome, and a few. I have another customer that has a lot of iPads, but none of them 100%. Actually, none of them Linux. They rarely run that as a desktop. They usually, if they instead of running Linux, because of what they do is browser based, they just instead run everything as a Chrome. And I actually probably would recommend Chrome for that particular use case, for that particular user over Linux. It's actually easy. It auto updates and all their applications are web-based. So a Chromebook works awesome for them and there's no opportunity for them to screw it up. So that actually does work. I don't have any that are all Linux. That's why I moved all my home automation to home assistant, Z-Wave, especially ESP8266. I can happily see my IoT LAN can't reach the internet. Cool. You're safer that way. Would Edgerouter 12 be a step up from the USG if better speed is my goal? Probably. I think the Edgerouter 12 might be. I'm not up to date on every one of the Edgerouters. Let's see. Which model is that? Yes, that's probably faster. Yep, 6.8 gigs per second. 1 core, 4 cores, blah blah blah. Yeah, looks nice. Looks fast. I'm gonna go with a yes here. The ER12 should be a step up on there. All right. So let's see. I have encryption enabled on a government free NAS server. How do I like the storage pools so they can access it as it's normal? Oh yeah. If you put a password on a free NAS, no, you have to interactively type the password in. There's not a way around it. If you want that full level encryption, it's going to require interaction. There's not a way around it other than don't put a password on it. But then if someone were to take the server, they would then be able to access the data. So that's the thing. Yeah, I have no idea why I've never seen a Unify. You've done something horribly wrong if you have a Unify system that auto wipes every time you reboot. I have no idea. I'm not sure. Let's see. Andrew Terrell wants to know, how do you pitch multiple companies at your network events? What do you mean by networking events? Like when I go to Chamber of Commerce, I'll assume that's what you're referring to, like Chamber of Commerce, BNI, or some other networking event. You don't usually pitch them there. You make friends there. Don't pitch. That's the first rule. If you're running around pitching when you go to networks, you're doing it wrong. You want to go in there and be friendly and things like that, but don't run around pitching ideas. Say, I'm Tom Lawrence, I fix computers and stuff, and I say, usually, what fun and interesting things do you do? That's how I frequently start my conversations with people. So yeah. Don't run around pitching. No one wants to be salesy. I usually avoid people who are running around pitching me on things. I usually avoid them. I look for someone like I can go have a beer with or something. And even if you don't drink, I have friends who are don't drink or anything, and they will just simply grab a water and wander around and do the same thing. Let's see what else we have here. I just want to say thank you and really appreciate your work. I learned so much. Awesome. Thank you. Happy Shroom. I believe that's what I'm reading there. Hey Vince, how you doing? I got a thanks, Tom, from Charles. Greetings from Vegas from our Las Vegas vocalist. Awesome. Michael has another question here. We got, is Ubuntu 16.04 still LTS, and would you recommend that over Arch Linux? I run Debian, so I don't know. I like Pop! OS on the desktop, but I like Debian on the servers, so I don't know if that's helpful or not. Unify can clear if you do not update the Informino twice. Update the controller too. Yeah, that's true. I don't think he's saying that the controller gets wiped every time you reboot. So that's a weird problem to have. What are your thoughts on Ubiquity not allowing layer 3 features on USG? Ubiquity's Ubiquity. I don't know. I don't really have thoughts on it. They do what they do. If you need those features, that's why they have a different product line. I don't know. I really enjoy their hardware, but one of the things that I'm going to, and I still haven't done this video and finished this yet, it's on my to-do list. I really like Chris's video. If you haven't watched Chris's video on the Unify Protect, he did one. I like their product here. I think it's pretty cool, but it does leave us with a less than clear roadmap of where Unify is going. Because I don't know. I really like this system, but I don't know where they're going. Are they going to always make a Kyle's waving at the camera? Are they going to keep developing Unify Protect? Are they going to keep doing whatever? I don't have an answer for that. And of course, Unify, I'm not calling them out. I would actually like them to share with us the roadmap for all of their products and things like that. So I don't try to speculate. I mean, Unify, I've been happy with their product. We still deploy them. We still like them. I enjoy their products. But I don't know where they're going with some of them. Like if people ask me that a lot as if I have some secret. Trust me, I'm on some of these products, other than with the exception of the occasions when they send me beta products, I know as much as you about things, with the exception of if I were to get a beta product that they have a GA date before we can talk about it. Other than that, I don't know anything more than you do on it. We're happy. We still deploy them. We still think they make a great product line. But yeah, I certainly don't have all the answers on it. 720 full HD. Look at that. Ooh. But I'm not sure what to do about the camera system. Here's a nice thing I really enjoy about Ubiquiti. They don't have a license fees. They don't have an activation server. And this is a big aggravation I have with a lot of other companies. They have activation servers for things. And that always becomes this big pain in the butt. What if they decide to abandon a product line? Okay, you can run the last version of software. Well, not if they turn off the activation servers. That is a genuine, real issue. We're looking at you, Sony Music, and your stupid little players that call out to the internet to activate your music library. When they shut that down, everyone lost even though it's local to their device, they can't activate things anymore. So I've always had a problem when companies have things like that. Ubiquiti doesn't have that, so I don't have a problem selling it, because even if they decide, we're not going to support this, well, the last version still works, and you didn't have to activate a license server or put something stupid in, so it carries on. Yeah, upside down. That's because everything's just setting upside down on a table over there. Debian and BSD are my go-to. Yes, they're mine as well, Mr. Las Vegas vocalist. Pitch was the wrong word. I meant talked about multiple business endeavors. I still maybe don't understand the question you're asking there, Andrew. What do I think of TNSR? Will you try the Netgate business demo, and have you tried it out? Nope, I haven't. I don't know. So the TNSR is interesting because, I don't know, it's vague. So they made some videos, and I have not watched them, but I know when I look at it, it's set your network free. But it's not it's built on open source, but not free. It's all pricing. And I said, I'm going to stick with something free. $3.99 annual, free for 120 days. I don't know. It's not anything about it that made me go, man, I got to get this. So I don't know. So maybe one day, I don't know. Nothing right now is making me jump all over it and make me think it's something I really want. So there's that. Let's see, what do we hear? Studying PL SQL for tomorrow. Yeah, good luck with that. Learn SQL, it's fun. Activation server, Meraki, nice brick when it's turned off. Yeah, a lot of companies. And that's not Meraki. This comes with software applications. Lots and lots of companies do things like that. I'm not a big fan of that business model. Turning off activation server is complete pain. Yeah. Yeah, some cloud VMs have ephemeral storage. Yeah, that's true too. Maybe that's what the problem is with that. So yes. Local box running unraid with a Red Cat KVM. Is it high? I don't know. You're using Red Hat. We'll just blame that first. I don't hate Red Hat. I'm just messing with you. I don't know. And this is actually, I'll actually talk a little bit about this. I do get a lot of weird messages and things sent to me where people say things like, oh, I tried to do what in your video is not working. And then I find out they completely use a different operating system. I'm like, well, there's your first problem. I can't simulate your problems and help you troubleshoot when you didn't even follow the basic steps of using the same operating system I am. I mean, there's going to be differences, so it's harder to troubleshoot because if I didn't do it on that operating system or in the same method, there's going to be that. So even the Unify bonus, I mean, I happen to be a Debian person who prefers that distro. The other side of that is that happens to be what all the Ubiquiti stuff is running on as well. So I trust that if Ubiquiti runs on that, I should probably run on that too because they are testing on that, so I should test on that. So those are kind of my thoughts on that. I mean, start with a basic Debian distro, load the Unify software. It's straightforward. I have videos on how to do that. It works great. I don't have problems with it. So yeah. Ooh, this. I like someone brought this up. It's been on my to-do list to start playing with it. I mean, how often are we downloading software willingly from the NSA? I thought this was kind of cool. It goes back to built in, or I'm sorry, it comes back to the Vault 7. That's what I'm looking for. Vault 7, when we knew this might exist, we heard about it. But the fact that they're open sourcing it is pretty fascinating. And I want to say, and let's find him. What is his name? It's not Dimitri, was it? Not Dimitri. The other guy, he's the project head for there. One of the people I follow on Twitter, he had some positive things to say about it, so I was following his account on there. But overall, I know people are liking this. It's neat. I really think it's a cool thing that they're releasing more of this, so I'm excited about that. So that's definitely a positive. The more people we get into putting some of these things out there and testing them is going to be where I think you get you're going to get better security researchers. You're going to get more people involved in it. So I know he was tweeting about it. I lost where he said some positive things he had to say about it, though. If you don't know who Tavis Orbanti, he's one of the people at Google's Project Zero and just a genius at finding holes in things. So he had some things to say about it. So I'm all, hey, definitely pretty cool. So it's a built-in KVM. I got no choice. Looks like a R410 KVM ZSIH10. Okay. Oh, yeah. The Synology NAS is fun. I put my staff at breaking it. So they have been beating it up and everything else. So, yeah, that's absolutely. We have some reviews coming of it. I just haven't gotten to them. I've been kind of preoccupied with a few other things, but definitely going to be doing a lot more dive into the Synology NAS. It's been fun to play with. Really like it. I mean, I still like FreeNAS. It's still what we're running. I feel FreeNAS is a really solid enterprise product, but I got to admit, I really like the features that you get with the Synology NAS. It's great. Did you guys, and Kyle can answer this question while I'm pulling this up here. Did you guys set the same username and password back up? Oh, they didn't set it back up. It's broken. You guys need to set it up with the same password as before, so I don't have to change what password I have saved. So that we can get that done. So, no, Michael, you're actually wrong about the power supply. In the original models, the power supply, because it was built in, the new ones got these power bricks, and they made improvements over that problem with the PSUs going bad. So, yes. Any large-scale deployments on Google Drive file stream as a file server replacement downside? What are you trying to do? Replace Google Drive? Is that the question here, Mike Tillis? Let me know on that. I'm not clear on that question. More than happy to answer it, but I'm not clear on the question. So, close that. All right. I will pull up. Here's some fun stuff, because this is always entertaining. We have we do have the how they got hacked. We're putting the show notes together for that. That's going to be some fun stuff. And we're going to go ahead and open link in new tab and drag it over here. There we go. Who wants to hear Senate testimony hearing, right? That sounds like an exciting topic. Well, there's actually some interesting things in here. So, Gamer Nexus had one with the new brick die too. That's interesting. NAS isn't a backup. We'll throw that out there. You should always have more than one. Even we have more than one free NAS system for this. But some of the things we're going to be covering on how they got hacked first. For those of you that may be here but said, hey, the audio isn't good, I already got the microphone set up in the studio so we can record with microphones for everyone. Yay. So we got that, but we're going to be doing some dives into, because some of the methodology information was in the Senate testimony hearing. Don't worry, we're not going to read all of it. I'm going to read the good parts. So that's going to be at least some of the information we have in there. We're going to take some dives into some of the other hacking that's happened recently. So, well, and the Citrix hack we want to talk about, because there's a lot of controversy back and forth on there. Our security has got some topics on that, and I tweeted about it. So where's my Twitter? Pull up my Twitter. I tweeted about this the other day, but I don't have good information or solid information. So where's our friend? our security. There we go. Pull this up. So let's look up our security. So this is the part that I'm having a problem with. And it's just validation. Validation, validation, validation. How do you get your name in the news? Make some noise, you know what I mean? Make some noise, make some bold claims that people have to deny or corroborate. And that's where this is becoming confusing. So if I search Citrix, God, their website doesn't search very well. Is this talk about it? So they made this claim, but the part I'm less clear on, are they the people doing the breach mitigation? That's where it gets, I don't know the name of the company. Until we have that, everyone's just shut up about it. So these people made that claim that had been there a while. Okay, how do you have that information? That's the part we need to know. Now, the FBI seems credible because the FBI contacted them and said, you guys have been compromised. You don't want to get a call from the FBI in general. You really don't want the call to say, yo, hacked. That's a whole different horrible thing that you never want to hear from the FBI. So none of this sounds good for Citrix. It's interesting. It's messy. We don't have a lot of details. I think they're parroting what the FBI said, because this is the part I really want to know. The Iridium includes a proprietary technique to bypass 2FA authentication on credible applications. This means they're claiming to have a 0-day. Okay, but that's a real bold claim as well, because these 0 days are worth so much money. So do they have it? How'd they get it? Is it enough in the wild that someone can find it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this person, here's the results direct editors conducted, They have some details here, but where is Citrix saying, yes, this is true, or no, it's not? So it's one of those things that's really tricky. Now, the other side of this is, he's noticed it's Iranian hackers. It seems like a go-to response, or North Korea. Attribution, and this has been covered, and this is the trickier part of the news that we have, is the attribution is really, really difficult. It is hard to determine who did what, when, and how. And the reason why is because here's source IP, here's proxies that were used. Once you start jumping through proxies, and you can do this with proxy chains like I did in my video, it becomes really, really difficult to trace the source. If they route through a VPN and then pivot through a proxy, you have 2 points that you have to try to corroborate the data. I'm saying it wrong, I know, whatever. You guys get the idea. You start to have to put this all together, so it makes it very difficult. The only time, and this becomes a different issue, is if someone makes the claim that they were the ones who hacked it. That gives you some attribution because they're doing it to brag. We broke this XYZ company. But then they have to offer up some piece of knowledge to validate that. If not, lots of hackers that are just wanting to get famous, in terms of anonymously famous, so to speak, by their hacker handle, they will go out and make the same claim. We did it. We did it. And this was, these are problems that occur in the industry, figuring out attribution. They try to do things like, one of them, they try to figure out, based on the time of day, make assumptions by what time the hackers are working, make translation assumptions by looking at the English and saying that English was most likely not written in natively in English because of the way the sentence structure was. We think it was written, let's say Farsi or something, and then run through Google Translate, and that's how it comes out. So they did that. But then again, what if the hackers started by taking words, translating them to another language, then pasting them back in a second time out of that sentence structure to obscure that information? You can see that this just becomes a rabbit hole of questions. Until you put the handcuffs on someone, you don't know who did it. So that's a real big problem. Does anyone have a suggestion for a Linux productivity desktop distro? I feel very productive with Pop! OS. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. I am happy with it. It works really well. Cool 3D effects and everything. I'm seeing them better because I'm doing them across all these different screens. So, matter of fact, here can I change views? Does this work? Here's what I see. Cool. That's how that works, in case you're wondering. So I feel productive. It works. It's a, I don't know. I'm using Papa West. I don't know what you mean by productivity for that. Basically, okay, we'll go back to Mike Tillis. He had a question there. See, we have a customer with an on-prem file server, and they have Google G Suite Business. Instead of installing on a new on-prem server, they move all the data to Google Drive and use FileStream. You could. I don't understand the question, though. Yes, you can use Google as a file server. It syncs to that, kind of like it works more like Dropbox, if that helps. So yes. So that'll work. So hopefully that answers that question, because I'm not clear on the question. Are you asking? Because Google has that. So if you go to G Suite Drive, a file stream, and here we go. Supported browser, follow these steps, and away they go. So you can create the Google file stream. I mean, they got documentation on it. So I guess I just need to understand the question that you're trying to ask. Maybe that's what I'm confused about. All right. So enough talk about that. Let's close this, close this, close this. Senate testimony. Like I said, we're going to cover some of that and how they got hacked, because there's some interesting sections of that. It's also interesting to know that right here is Mimikatz. So let's do a search for it and talk about that real quick. This will be one of the topics we cover. So they found some tools on there, like this one here. This is some of the scary stuff. This is part of the problem with some of the Starwood Hotel thing, is that it's a big mess, because they had all these different tools scattered around their network and stuff like that. But the debrief that's slowly coming out of how they got hacked, it's also a challenge of how they got discovered. And this is something that we do when we take over clients. We have to start digging in. And some of the first things you may learn is they have a bunch of latent problems that the previous IT company wasn't dealing with or never properly detected. So this is what kind of happened, it sounds like, at Starwood, as I started reading all that testimony, was, oh yeah, by the way, we started digging into things and we started finding things. So that's how they realized they had been hacked for a long time. It was bad that it took this long to find, but good that they finally found it, because if they didn't start taking these measures of running some of these tools in here, they would have never found out they were hacked. You know what I mean? They had been in here a long time. So it's really pretty interesting read. So I'm going to do some debriefs on this. This is going to be tomorrow's how they got hacked. So we're going to dive into all this, and I'll put this together. And yes, like I said, we have the microphones ready for stuff like that. So that's all kinds of fun. There was one more piece I was going to look for, and it was an interesting tool they had, because they were using it. Essentially, it sounds like an AI system by IBM for behavior analytics. And there's a few companies that do this. It's not cheap. This is cutting edge, but it's really hard to do. I'm probably spelling it. There we go. There's companies like this. What these companies do is create massive data collection to detect threats based on building a baseline of what your users do and looking for variations on the norm. Because the problem with a lot of the security is it's all detected based on signatures. And signatures are really, really hard, because we have to have a signature. Hence the reason companies like ZeroDays buy ZeroDays, because there's no signature for things. DIM. There we go. So ZeroDays is a broker for ZeroDays. And what are they doing? They're selling ZeroDays to probably places like Iran and the US, people with a budget to buy a ZeroDay, because it's not been tagged with a signature, or there's a methodology that your standard heuristics can't detect because it hasn't been identified well, so it doesn't look that much out of the norm, but then pivots you into a system. But that's where once you've been, it's unfortunately, because this is sometimes once you've been breached, but all of a sudden, Bob in accounting starts spewing out terabytes of data that he normally doesn't upload. So now we know there's a problem, and it starts locking those systems down so you can contain it. Unfortunately, this is kind of you may contain it after some of it got out, but at least it's been contained versus with the Citrix breach, which is still going on. We know there was terabytes and terabytes of data taken. So somehow no tools were noticing terabytes of data leaving the network. And that's the part I want to debrief on Citrix is like, well, how much data left before someone said something? That's where things get really interesting is, you look at your bandwidth and you're like, yeah, it was all just pouring out. The pipes were full. There was a recent security incident along these lines where that's kind of what happened. Their network ops caught the problem because their servers were going so slow, and yeah, it was just kind of a big mess. And it's hard. Security's hard. That's we'll just say that. And security's all best effort. We do everything we can, best effort. But yeah, if someone has a 0-day to bypass 2FA, like they're claiming with the Citrix, we have a big problem. The only good news about the problem is we are less likely to be a target to be used against. But hopefully what comes out of like the Citrix attack is we'll understand that tool and we'll patch whatever hole was in whatever 2FA system that they allegedly can bypass. So that's going to be very interesting to dig into for some of the future stuff. So hopefully that covers that topic. Something else I want to talk about before I left, and I don't remember what. I should make lists. It's really hard to make lists. Actually, let me see. Did my staff reset up the system so we can poke at this? No. Still not set up. Server. No. I hear yelling at the other room through the wall. No. So that didn't get done. Oh, well. Yeah, I'll leave this page. What else do we got here? Site. Testing. I was working on, before this started, so my Unify test server. Let's get this updated. I just built this. I have some future demos. Someone asked me a question about handling Unify, and then I found this, which is interesting. I'll pull this up as well. Where'd it go? Right here. Turns out someone wrote a script here, and it will import Let's Encrypt into Unify. I had my friend take a look at the script. He said it looks pretty sane, so I'm going to customize it and see if it does what it says. So that's going to be an interesting, because I want to be able to run a Unify server with a Let's Encrypt and have it auto-update its cert and sign it all in one system. This is something I wish Unify would do. I'm willing to do the video on it if it all works, where you have a Let's Encrypt cert set up with Acme, and then from there you pull that in there. So that's going to be interesting. And for anyone who wants this, I always talk about this. Want to watch me install the dot files? So apt-get update, git upgrade the system real quick. This is a brand new server I just loaded. Literally, it finished probably a few minutes before this video. But people always ask, how do you get your shell on there? So that's pretty easy to do. So we're just going to copy that. This is my dot installers for those of you who don't know. Because everyone asks me about the, how do I set up the command line to be that way? And obviously, this is does not have my command line. Like I said, I literally just built this. So if you want to know how I do the command line in there, I'm going to walk you right through it. So apt-get, install git. Yep. So it's going to go ahead and pull down git. Relatively fast here. This is on DigitalOcean. It's a DigitalOcean server. All right, and we git clone. All I did was paste in the link from here on my dot files. For anyone who wants the git thing there. Yeah, Let's Encrypt and Unify should just be built in, and that's what kind of the goal is, to get it all so it's not this much as built in, but like I think it should be not just built in, but like completely automated. They should completely have an automated script to make this happen. Now, what I'm doing here, this does not have sudo because I'm not setting that up for this particular server. So install, it runs through. It's going to copy and download and throw all the things in related to setting up my, there we go. It's going to pull in the Vim scripts and stuff like that. Exit. Hey, look, I'm in. That's it. There we go. I'm in the Unify box with my script and everything else. That's it. Whatever. So no big deal. Not worried about it. All right. Now here comes the fun part. We got an apt-get install. I'm going to put tmux on there. Then we got to put the Acme installer on there. Is it Let's Encrypt? Yeah. So install this on here, and then I'll drop the Unify on here and get that configured. It's not, won't do the whole thing right now. I've got videos on this topic and stuff like that as well. And away we go. It's almost ready to do. So now we just got to set up the, Acme thing, and that'll all be set. I got to create a DNS for this. You can't set up Let's Encrypt until you have a DNS and have a valid whatever on there. So cool. Oh, and someone's going to point out, I'm not worried about it. Thank you for pointing it out, that you probably see my public IP. If you spent any time figuring out things about me, my public IP has been popped around a couple times. I'm not overly worried about it. Hopefully no one bothers to try to denial of service me. I'm sure someone will try at some point because they can, and because denial of services are cheap and easy, but such is life. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I've seen people that happen. Matter of fact, I thought it was sad and aggravating, as I do follow, and some people love him, some people hate him, but like Steve Gibson, he got denial of service a couple times. I know Krebs on security, he got really bad denial of service for a while, and there's nothing you can really do. If you have the time and money to throw at a denial of service attack, you can always knock someone off the internet. His DDoS was pretty amazing, so whoops. Hit with record-setting DDoS. They were just determined to keep him offline. It was an interesting read for anyone who, if you follow Krebs, he's got some pretty excellent. He's one of the security people I follow for sure. Add network seismic probe breach. Oh man, it's always fun to read through these. Patch Tuesday, March 29th edition. These skimmers are cool too. If you haven't seen any of this, this is. I love security, in case you guys didn't know. It's fun to talk about. It's also like mind-blowing how bad it is, and how many, it's like it doesn't take long before we ever find like one more security problem. Like I said, that's why I started out this video with that, with someone who was designing something that would have had their credentials for all their clients in every device they sent to each individual client. And I'm just like, stop here, redesign, start over. You have to fix that design. That is not a good idea. Would you encourage ethical hacking of your network? No DDoS attacks? No. I hack my own network. I'm not inviting others to poke at my network. Because most of the time, a lot of the poking, I mean, trust me, it's happening constantly. I see the logs, but I know people are doing it. I see people hitting it all the time from different places. My firewall logs are filled with crap. Saracata gets filled with crap. Is what it is. I mean, if someone were to find something, I'm hoping they follow an ethical procedure to let me know, hey, you accidentally did something. So if I were to do that, yes, that would be something, one of those things. Like, I hope someone properly discloses to me if I made some horrible mistake and left something wide open. Thank you very much. But I don't encourage you just to start hammering or fuzzing. If you're not familiar with some of that, like just throwing everything or using hammering me with some type of scans all the time to just try and look for something. At some point, you're sucking up bandwidth. I've already had to block a few people. I did a video on that where someone decided to just start hammering on one of our servers because for reasons, I don't know. And they ended up flooding it to the point of essentially denial servicing it, but only from a single IP address. And I'm guessing it's some computer that they had access to because they traced it to a computer in Kentucky. And I'm like, so yeah. Targeted style ethical hack. That's different. If I enter an engagement with someone to do that, and I do with my security friends that I local or trust, I do have them test and things like that. So they have come through, and that's different because I know them personally. I don't encourage any strangers to do it. It is illegal. You are breaking the law because you do not have my consent to do so. I'm very clear on that. If I'm not, I think that's clear. I hate Windows when I try to connect to LTP. My phone. On my phone work on the same network. Well, that's actually, you can blame Windows all you want. That's a flaw of L2TP, and that's why we all love OpenVPN so much, because these are problems that is solved by OpenVPN. You don't do that. Matter of fact, wow. So L2TP is a old standard, layer 2 tunneling protocol from 1990. That's a 20-year-old standard. Interesting. Layer 2 forwarding protocol and Microsoft's point-to-point tunnel call, a newer version, PV3. Yeah, it's an open standard, but there's a reason a lot of people don't do it. Matter of fact, it's in pfSense. It's supported, but I never recommend anyone do it because it has flaws. It's not securities, but it has problems like was just mentioned by Lars, which is why I don't use it. I use OpenVPN. That's not a secret. I am highly a fan of OpenVPN. So, yeah. What is the best way to block incoming traffic for a country such as coming from China or Russia? PF blocker. I have a video on how to do that. So if you go to there and you say things like, PF blocker. Oh, look, Tom's videos on PF blocker. Using PF blocker or pfSense to block IP addresses by country. So all you gotta do is do that, and I'll save you the click. So copy. There we go. Yes, that's correct. The Edge router does not have any other VPNs to use. This is one of the reasons. Like, hey, cool. I mean, everyone says, hey, what about this? What about this? What about the Edge router? I'm like, do you need a VPN? Edge router VPN is not as good as the way they do it at pfSense. That's how it is. So I don't know. I got nothing. That's why I use it. I use the Edge router when I don't need things like VPN. The Edge router works great. So I start needing more advanced things like that, or a nice open VPN, because a lot of people ask about that. It's just way easier, way simpler. So yeah, it works sometimes to connect. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It works sometimes. I like something that works all the time. And I know everyone keeps asking, what about WireGuard VPN? Whenever it hits prime time, awesome. It's far from prime time. It's not all built in and integrated everywhere yet. I like how simple it is. It's got an easy process to follow, but the other side of it is it's just not prime time yet. So until it hits prime time and becomes more popular and integrated into products and goes through a stronger vetting process, yeah. Also, this is interesting. So here is the WireGuard. And that's funny. I mean, not that this snake logo is super uncommon, but it's, yeah. That's funny that they have a similar logo. Just tilt it on its side and tell it to bite itself, and then you have the logo change. I don't know why NTOP PNG is eating up all your bandwidth. I'm going to guess faster processor. Even though it only says that much, it could be something with the way the bus is interacting and streaming it. So, what about open up SSH port and use SSH tunnel? I did a video on that. I highly recommend SSH tunneling. Works great. Do you use anything like Ansible? I have videos on Ansible on my YouTube channel as well. I have a couple getting started with Ansible videos. So yes, I use it. Limited. Phil uses it more. Getting started Ansible. Hey, look at this, guys. Getting started with Ansible, configuration management. So yes, there's videos on there, so absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. And I did that video recently on, and it'll probably come up top because the way the Proxy Chains. There's a few people that did video. There's my video on Proxy Chains. Proxy Chains using SSH and SOX proxy for easy remote management testing. So yeah, that's on there well. You know, and this is something I tell people. If you go to anybody's YouTube channel, because I get a lot of email requests, and I've tried to cut down on them because I just don't have time to reply to them all. There's a little button right here. Little button says search. Type in Ansible, and you'll find the videos that are on my channel related to Ansible. And for some reason, this video, I have no idea. I must have mentioned Ansible in one of them. But anyways, it does pull up my 2 Ansible tutorials right at the top. So I have a lot of videos. I have over 700 of them. I highly recommend either using my playlist or search to run through my videos to figure out different things I got going on. I try to keep everything as organized and well labeled as possible so we can make it easy for people to find things. What else we got here? Is it possible to run 2 OS as my computer without a VM, maybe a second spare SSD? You can do a multi-boot. I don't like multi-boots. You can do them. It's supported. So that's definitely possible. Hey, from Brisbane, Australia. From Gary Loves Beer. Well, Tom loves beer and Gary loves beer too. This is great. I'm a beer fan. So very cool there. What else do we got? Oh, I did the review on SolarWinds MSP. People asked me about that software that we use to help manage all that. That's on here, so that's definitely a video I just released this morning. I'm exhausted. I've been up since like 4 a.m., so sorry. Do I have a favorite beer? No, I don't have a favorite. I like too many of them. I don't care for sour beers. I like IPA beers, but I like a lot of different beers. I have a dislike for beers like Budweiser. I don't care much for those. They're just too watered down tasting for me, so they're not really a big fan. What else do we got here? Is everything upside down over here still? Yay, upside down. Why isn't this one doing 4K? That's a different question, I guess. Boy, it's a clear camera. Why isn't it 4K? That's the part I don't know. Yeah, because he's wandering over in front of the camera. Oh, there we go. You know, it's got a zoom on it, too. That's the cool part. You know, I've had a lot of people recently asking about the yeah, it's not doing 4K. I notice it's only in 1080. So, anyways, close that. I will do some more videos coming up soon on Linux, maybe some getting started. A lot of people ask me questions about it. I mean, I've been running Linux full time for like 8 or 9 years as my primary desktop at home, at office. I always use Linux. So yeah, so I may do some more videos on that because it does appear a lot of people have questions about it. My ISP blocks VPN and LTE, but works fine at home and Wi-Fi. I can't figure out how. I tried OpenVPN on different ports, WireGuard, Citrix Hack, any ideas? You need to set up something to wrap if in SSL. It's not arbitrary, but I'll drop this in here. So what this does is has an entire, there's a series of things you need. It's not easy. But what you do is DPI Systems, deep packet inspection, they will sense out VPN traffic, but they allow things such as SSL traffic, TLS encrypted, because they allow you to go to encrypted websites. The solution is to obfuscate the OpenVPN or whatever tool you're using in a TLS tunnel so it passes for regular traffic. That's not like a one-click install as much. There are some tools such as this, so you can run your own server either like behind your firewall or in a cloud-hosted solution, so you can get by systems that will do auditing and inspection of traffic. So it's possible. It's not easy. This is the method. This is one methodology to do it. I think, and I've not used this before, but it actually is built into pfSense. Stunnel, I think, is a way to do it as well. I have not used this before. I'm just familiar with what it does. But Stunnel, once again, is a tool that will encapsulate other traffic. So because it can encapsulate and obscure the traffic as a TLS connection, that is how you avoid the system, a high DPI system of stopping VPN traffic, because the system will then flag the traffic as standard traffic at that point and not understand what it is, obscuring it. This is one of those things about DPI systems that people who use them a lot, and they kind of stop amateurs if you have some type of filtering like that. But anyone who takes the time to really dig into how these systems really work, this is the tools the really good hackers use to exfiltrate data, is they're blanketing everything in an exfiltration of rapid and TLS, so we can't see what's inside of it. Then that's where corporate companies go a step further and install a root CA. And once they install a root CA, then they have visibility into traffic coming from the endpoints. And like I said, that goes beyond the complexity of what I feel like talking about today. Have I played with OpenStack? Not really. I've heard it's tricky to learn. I've not learned it, so it's popular. They have a lot of information on it, but I've not really built it. So I still use all my Zen server. I'm happy with it. It works great. I know one of my friends took it on and said, "Wow, this is a super complicated project." So I think he abandoned it and went for something else. I don't think he's using it anymore. He talked a little bit about it. So, hey, thank you for JC Gobi for a $10 donation. I'll buy some coffee with it because I'm yawning for some reason. But thank you for the donation. All that does help out the channel. Because we've been thinking about getting sponsors for the channel. We're growing. We want to expand it. It takes a lot of effort and time to put these together. am really happy about, that we have a lot of people that hire us for things and stuff like that. But at some point, it would be nice to get some small sponsors or something like that on there. So that's something I'm thinking about. What version of the program does people in the chat like to Windows? I don't understand that question, Lars. So I'm not sure what you're asking there. But always, remember too, because I'm going to be jumping off here in a couple minutes. I got about 10 more minutes. Continue the conversation at forums.lawrencesystems.com. So that's the thing. See, someone's got some forum posts in here. So always feel free to post in here. Yeah, sales demos always work. It's nice to very helpful information. Cool. I'm glad that there's some people that find this helpful on there, because I hate sales demos. They're always kind of they're always sunshine or rainbows by my crap. So that's one of the reasons I did that review. I have no affiliation with SolarWinds. Like so someone will probably still not believe me. You're some paid shill for SolarWinds. No, not really. I'm just somebody who uses it. If they give me a discount, I wouldn't mind. So if they want to give me a discount, I don't know. I still, like I said, I started out with they all suck. None of them are perfect. That's my non-sales demo for it. There's none of them that I think are great. So VirtualBox is great. I still use even VirtualBox myself. So VirtualBox is great desktop. Proxmox is really good. XCPNG is really good. They're all good systems. I mean, the problem I have, and I'm going to talk real quick about this. I see Lars talked about dual booting. My problem with dual booting is always the same. You don't feel like rebooting it all the time, so you end up just using it in one or the other. And it becomes much less effective in use case. That's one of the reasons. Even here, I run Linux here, and then if I need to fire up Windows, I just open up my VirtualBox right here, and I can just turn on Windows XP. I have a Tails Linux installed because I was going to do a demo on that, and one of those things that fell off the map. I didn't do one recently, but I just do this, start. Oh look, VirtualBox 6, latest version, and now I've got a Windows environment that I can use for doing Windows things. So this is my methodology for running instead of dual boot. If I need to do something in Windows, I just open up Windows, boot it up. It boots relatively quick on my computer here with everything I have running, the stream and all this, which does take some horsepower, and it's probably finishing some update because the other day was Patch Tuesday. There we go. And I'm logged in. Simple as that. I'm now in Windows, and I can use Windows things. I can click the E. Oh boy, that's exciting. Wow. Okay, cool. So if I have to view something in here, good old putty if you ever need that. No thanks, whatever you want to do. And then when I'm done, I just shut it back down. Yeah, protect your important things. Oh, and I'll move my head to prove a point. Yes, it's actually properly licensed. My contribution to the Microsoft ecosystem here. We never click the E. Yeah, it's dangerous clicking the E. I'm surprised I had time to actually click the E. What are my PC specs? That's a fair question. I don't know. I used to care, like when I was a computer nerd back in the day, when it made sense to me. Now I have my Intel i7 4770 at 3.5 gigahertz with 8 cores with my GeForce 760 card. That's, if that helps. And 16 gigs of RAM. I'm going to build a Ryzen system soon. This is what I have right now, though. It works. Oh, we're looking really forward to the security video series. So thanks, George, on that. That's going to be, we want to put some time into it. I will tell you, Xavier I hung out with him last night. He's just a blast to hang out with. Really smart dude, excited. I've been trying to tell him for a year to get on YouTube with me and do some security videos. The guy does some cool stuff. He's been in that pen testing market for a long time. He does a lot of security and analytics. So he's really talented at what he does. So I'm excited. Me and him together, we always have a great time. So we want to share that with you when we cover these security topics and do our dives into a lot of that. So yeah, my machine's definitely dated. It was a used computer that came into the office and I acquired it for myself. So I love the videos when you're doing them on site. Deployments and testing tools. Cool. Question, did this stop working? My video seems to have stopped. Is it just pausing or is it just my side here? I guess it's still going. I can't tell. Good news is I see your chat. I just don't see the video moving anymore. Can I pop the chat out? Does it work like that still? Pop out chat. There we go. Remember to guard my privacy. Gene, Sam, how wide is too wide? My previous test had 4x24. I have three 23-inch monitors. I'm fine with that. It's fine. I guess whatever you're comfortable with. So, yeah. I only see my desktop though. Yeah, I just closed everything. So, please describe me in real time. Would you use Pop! OS to build the XCP NG from source? No, I don't understand that question. I don't build XCP NG from source. Are you talking about the Zen Orchestra? I build that on a standard Debian from the command line, not an actual full desktop distribution. So hopefully that makes sense. Some older systems, maybe the R610, I don't know all of them. The problem is with some of them is they do not have fan speed control. You may not have a system with proper fan speed control. I got nothing for that. I don't have a solution for it. It's a design flaw of that server other than buying another server. Hopefully that helps, or maybe doesn't. I'm not sure. Kind of related, and I might get one of these. Let's move the chat over here and open this up. So I just got another email from these people, the people who put together Pop! OS. We might be doing some reviews of hopefully some of these laptops that they have. If you're looking for a sweet Linux laptop, they have them. We want to review them. Yeah, W9 to build Zen Orchestra. That's what I figured you were talking about, and yes. Yeah, the power, it depends on the model. You have to look up the model of whether or not the server has the adjustable fans or if it's speed or thermally controlled. So, yes, I am looking at this. Now, we tried asking them for one of the really high-end ones, and we wanted the Oryx, and they aren't going to just send us an Oryx. Apparently, we've been shot down for now for that. It doesn't make me want one less. These are sweet if you haven't seen these. These are... And I don't, this is kind of an odd. They come in 17.3 or 16.1. It's like, they're so slightly different. Just get the bigger one. That's kind of how I feel if I get one. Also, I love the design and buy button. So if you haven't seen this, System 76 is just a nice company of how they do things. Here we go. Pop! OS, 6 gig, 17. Oh no, it doesn't ship till mid-April. Hey, whatever, I'm patient. 32. I want a desktop with nice 32 dual channel DDR4. 240 additional. Yeah, we could go with another one. Why not? We're splurging here. Additional 2.5 drive, 4 terabyte SSD. Could always throw one of those in there. We'll leave it at no. Get a bag for it. Got to have an extra wall charger. 2-year warranty. Spend some money. And purchase now, 27. I just like how simple they make it to spend $2,700 on a laptop. It's just, I like their website. Like Dell, you could learn something from this. Like anyone who's tried to configure some of the Dell stuff, it's like they don't ever make it this easy. They just have made it such a pain because you can get servers from System 76 as well. So you can just go into servers, design and buy, and just pick things like, oh, look, I need 28 cores because we all need 28 cores, 56 threads, first processor. You know what I mean? And this is so easy, isn't it? First processor, Intel Xeon, first CPU memory, second processor. Why not? Second CPU memory. Why not? GPU. 2 NVMEs. They're just going to go all out. 16 terabytes here. Like, this is a nice... We're at $82,000, by the way, if you didn't notice at the top. So configuration for $82,000. Oh, they don't give me a monthly fee on this one, apparently. But I love their site. Like, and my friend has been there. Jay did a video on going there. They're really neat as a company. All the way they do things, they do it in a very clean way. And this comes down to their operating system and why I use Pop! OS as my operating system as well. I'm really happy with it. The way it all works, the way it's all put together, and it reflects in the clean design of their website and the fact that, in a few minutes we can just design and buy and come up with a really simple system. I think they just have a great way of doing things. Like the way the company works is pleasant. They also have some high-end workstations. You got to see these desktops. So their desktops are beautiful. Like, this is just nice. I'm excited. Like, the way they design the boards, the way they design the layout, design and buy. And you can go crazy. They got walnut or maple finish. So if you need the darker, lighter colors. And having a wood finish on a computer, I don't know. I didn't think I'd like it until I seen what they did. And I'm like, okay, I can go with this. And of course, we're going all out. Let's just go build the ultimate workstation. Third GPU. We're going with 4 Titans. All right. We filled all the slots as Titans. Hey, why not? We'll get a pair of 27s hooked up to it. Audio Genie speakers, 3-year warranty. $55 more, why not? Yeah, send me a shipping label. $74,000 for the workstation. There you go. Only 74 grand. I mean, come on. But look at it. It's got wood grain, and it has 4 GPUs in it. So, thing is, I really like the whole system on there. So it's really great. Like I said, I really like them. The art servers are intrusion detection. All right. Oh, cool. Someone hopefully is sorting that out. Is that a laptop? Not bad. Oh, no, it's a desktop. Yeah. You can still go out on their laptops. Don't worry. If you go with, let's start one of their high-end laptops. This one here, design and buy. I mean, these are very powerful laptops. 17-inch screen, 8 gig, 564. Just go all out. Because you're one of those people with so much money, you can just afford these 330-watt charger. That's, wow. 3-year warranty. I wouldn't worry about recycling. $7,000 for a laptop. That's impressive. But it would replace my desktop. Like, that would be like my ultimate thing. So, yeah. So not bad, not bad. Yeah, they have, Systems 86 is a cool company. I like their whole, like, theme and everything else. They make a lot of nice products. Their products are good. The only thing I'll say about some of their older laptops, one of my friends has one. He hasn't any problems with it, except for it's kind of noticeably has a little bit louder of a fan, but it hasn't gotten louder over time. It's just a louder fan, been louder since day one. So but the new ones are much quieter and much designed. It kind of goes to, I guess I'm nitpicking, but the system itself has come, had a lot of systems of that age also came with louder fans, but it's solid. It works. The nice thing is you don't wonder about compatibility with Linux. It runs Linux and can be shipped with either Ubuntu or Pop! OS right out of the box. So you don't have those compatibilities to worry about. You don't worry about, oh no, does it work with this, or will I have things that won't work? They are actively working to make sure everything's 100% compatible. Even they have laptops that are not $7,000. They have some basic ones where you can get, they don't have any of the bottom barrel. They're not competing on that dirt cheap market. But they do have, like here's a nice 13-inch or 14-inch 1080 i7 or i5, nice basic laptop to get work done. And this is more likely my next laptop that I'll buy from them, because right now, and it's not worn out, but I have my IBM older X250. I like it. It works. I don't do a lot of high-end things on my laptop. Actually, an example today, the picture you've seen is because I was on site because a thing broke at a client, and I had to go and have my laptop, and I had to stand on a ladder with my laptop to get a plug in to something to test something. So I don't like a heavy-duty laptop, so to speak, or one that I'm worried as much about. So I only paid like $400 for my IBM, and like I said, I don't do many high-end things. I don't do gaming on my laptop or anything. I spend a lot of time in a terminal, so... Well, that's my cue to leave, because the woo-woo noise, as we call it, has started. The Zumba class next door is going. So thank you, everyone who came to visit me on the live stream here. Any final questions or anything else, please head over to forums.lawrencesystems.com, where you can carry on the discussion and dive more into things, where I can answer things in long form and give you links and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to recording tomorrow's show of how they got hacked. So that's, like I said, that's going forward. And yes, we have microphones. So yes. Paul Sakemi, see me next door. No, I'm not Zumbaing. Tom doesn't Zumba. We're going to throw that out there. So thanks for everyone. Thank you for people who donated money. That was awesome. Anyone who wants to fling more money at me, I'm always open to that. So, we like money. Oh, before I leave, I have something I'll share with you that I did not, Kyle did a great job on this, by the way. So Kyle keeps up a lot of the website design work, because I'm not good at it. Affiliates We Love page has been redone. So go clicky, and share some love. Check out this whole thing that Kyle did. So these are all of our affiliate links that we have. Google Fi, Linode, Invoice Ninja, iDrive, Netgate. Well, this is an affiliate link. We just like them. If you look at the bottom, it just opens up to Netgate. There's no affiliate link. Private internet access, Volta chargers, TubeBuddy, ServerMonkey. Got the ServerMonkey shirt. So yes, if you're interested in any of that, go ahead and do there. So no money for you from me, but check your email. Okay, I'll check my email, Vince. So, all right, thanks and have a wonderful day. Thanks, everyone.